All right, so I want to start with that Wisconsin game. That's one of the craziest football games I've seen in my life. Coming down to the fourth quarter, and it's back and forth. Chris Tyree, how would you describe that game from your perspective?
Yeah, definitely an interesting one. I I was not expecting that many points in the fourth. When it all was said and done, um, they're handing out picks like Oprah. That was crazy. But um, yeah, it was really cool to see the D boys just kind of getting out there, fly around, and everyone's contributing. All the receivers getting some catches. It's just been a lot of fun. It's not always the prettiest game, but I'm having a lot of fun playing with my best friends.
It's always a little crazy when you have to play with so many different quarterbacks. I mean, we're through, 4 games now, and you've played with every quarterback in that room, basically. Buckner, you play with now Drew Pine, Cone, of course. How much time do you actually get with all of them individually to work on everything you need to for games like that?
Yeah, we don't have like too many like timing pattern routes, and really they all kind of intermix. Like I've got the ball from them for months, from all three of them. So I'd credit that to the coaches. I think they've done a good job of making sure that we all got good chemistry with everyone. So at any point, we could compete at a high level with any quarterback and any receivers.
But what's the biggest difference you sense in year 2 now with Tommy Reese calling the offense from last year?
I definitely think he puts a little more of his own spin on things, and it's definitely more play calling towards players rather than play calling towards just the set plays, like just putting like players into what he's envisioning for a play. He's like building plays around the players, like his personnel that he has. Because I just think, at least for me, he's made, really for everyone in our discussions, he just made kind of our jobs easier and played more to our strengths to kind of set things up to allow more free access and things like that. I mean, in my own experience, I mean, he's made my job a lot easier. It has been very transparent. He's done a great job. I'm very high on Coach Reese. I really like him.
What's your favorite route to run?
Probably a post corner.
Describe a post corner to somebody who has no clue what a post corner is.
I'd run 10 yards straight.
Yeah.
And then I'd run diagonally for 5, and then I would turn out of it to the sideline.
I feel like that's a hard break to make, though. I feel like when you're running to the post and you got to break all the way back out, isn't that a pretty tough break?
No, it's definitely tough. I couldn't really do it for a long time, or if I did, it was inconsistent. It's definitely, I would say, become one of my better routes. I actually got one in the Wisconsin game. Avery caught one too. I just think it's fun, and just because I run so many posts, I would just say it's the easiest route for me to run. And it's like a good chunk. Like I can get 15 to 20 on it relatively easy. So I'd say just for me, it's probably my most efficient, like highest completion percentage catch.
Mm-hmm. How close have some of the bombs been? Because every time we meet with Coach Reese, I can sense that he's thinking, pushing the ball down the field, wants to take some of these shots. You're really one of the big shot guys out there at wide receiver. How close have some of these been?
Close. I mean, I dropped one, so we should have one. But yeah, I'm not gonna point fingers anywhere. I mean, in my mind, we should have one. I dropped one against Purdue, which is tough, but it happens, and I'm not down on myself. It's just got to focus more. But yeah, I mean, it's coming soon, and all the quarterbacks are looking to push the ball downfield, and so is Coach Reese. And I'm not concerned. I mean, we're winning games, and we've made the attempts. I know in time it's going to happen.
Did you look directly into the sun in that one? The one that you just mentioned? It's like you ran right out of the shade, right into the sun area of the field. I was standing right on the field, right in front of you. Did you look directly into where that sun's setting right over the stadium?
I mean, my eyes are in the sun, but like it's football. Like that's not at this level. It's not an excuse.
Right.
So I'm not gonna say I dropped the ball because my eyes are in the sun, because everyone's eyes are in the sun.
Yeah.
And like, let's be real. Like, no one wants to hear me say I dropped the ball because my eyes are in the sun. So I'm not gonna take the easy way. I'm just gonna own the drop. I dropped it.
I respect that. I've just seen you catch so many deep balls, and I saw where you were on the field for that play. So this UC game's now becoming, the game of the year in a lot of ways. This top 10 matchup, these two teams that could both very easily become playoff teams. Everybody knows that. when you flip on the tape, I mean, this is a Marcus Freeman built defense. I mean, he was here at Cincinnati. I'm sitting in Cincinnati right now, recruited a whole bunch of these guys. When you look at them on the field, what do they look like?
Look like great athletes. They clearly can compete at this level. I mean, they were top 10 last year. Thought they looked solid in their film against Georgia, and that's, we know what level they are. We haven't beaten them twice in these past couple years, and they competed with them, so they clearly are at that level we're at. All-American DB. I mean, this is not a joke team. I mean, they're ranked for a reason. They're ranked higher than us for a reason. So we are aware of their strengths, and we are focused on our game plan and what we can do. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a tough one, and we know that. This is why we come to Notre Dame. I'm excited. There's a lot of drama around it, but we don't. We try to just look forward and just not care, because that's the drama every week in Notre Dame. I mean, there's some connection to every school somehow, some story every week. So this is another week. We just got to keep working.
There definitely is. This one's got a little bit of a heightened one, though. I mean, you know what I mean? It's got definitely for the defensive guys like Freeman. I know Fickle. He was just with Fickle. Bowden, of course, all those guys. Some of the recruiting guys come over. Coach Kelly being from there as well. Like, can you feel that this one's personal?
No, I mean, it's Notre Dame. I mean, it's not. I mean, everyone's here is so professional and so focused. Like, it'd be easy to say, yeah, but like it really, like, no. Like, I would honestly say it's just another week for us, because we are 100% aware of how good they are. So I'm not discrediting them, but we also we have a process that's consistently worked and gotten us results, and we're not going to deviate from that based on our opponent. We just have to keep working and keep our heads straight, and we know that good results come from that, and that's our only focus.
Is this the best defense you played this year?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And where specifically do you notice it's going to be a jump up in competition? What positions?
Their cornerbacks are elite, but not just that. I mean, their strength is in the different amount of looks they do. I mean, they do so much stuff at such a high level, and they disguise well. I mean, there's a reason Marcus Freeman is at Notre Dame now. I mean, they're clearly doing something at a very high level over there at a very consistent rate. And we got to be prepared for that, because, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. It's the battle of the Midwest. So.
Mm-hmm. So what are all these different quarterbacks now that you've played with all three of them? Take me through what's different about all their game when they step onto the field.
I'll take an easy route. Jac is the most experienced veteran presence. Buck's probably the most athletic, best runner. I'd say Drew's a little funny. Drew's a little wild. I mean, I loved it if you saw the celebration. So I mean, Drew's one of my best. Drew's one of my best friends. So that was a great moment for him. But yeah, I mean, all three of them have it's hard to differentiate them. As players, they play different, but they all kind of have that similar dog mindset when it's their turn. But they're such good dudes that if it's not their turn, there's no partial hate. They truly want each other to succeed, and I think that's pretty rare. But that's just Notre Dame.
What were you thinking when Pine was doing the McGregor walk?
I didn't see it until after, but I was pretty happy. I mean, I love that kid, so I'm really happy for him.
Okay, so when he stepped into the game, Pine, you said you were close with him. Have you guys been buddies ever since you got to Notre Dame, or when did that friendship start?
So, last spring, we started getting a little closer, and just over time, we just became best friends. He's one of my best friends. But yeah, I mean, he's just a great dude, great family.
What's his personality like? He's probably the mystery of the quarterback room for the fans. We just don't know much about him yet.
Drew Pine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very hardworking dude. He's very consistent. But when he's off the field, very goofy. So I have nothing but good things to say about him.
Mm-hmm. Describe this personality of this offense this year compared to last year. Last year, all the vets on the offensive line. Now it's a different looking group. just the personality of this group and how you try to attack defenses. What's a little different about it?
Aggressive, in my mind. I mean, I just think we just have a different kind of skill set. We're not as big, but in my mind, I just feel like going into games and the on-field demeanor, we just feel like one-on-one, we're at more of an advantage than we have been in the past.
Mm-hmm. How'd you grow up thinking about Notre Dame? You're from where? Oregon, right?
Yeah, no, I hated it, but I didn't want to come. I didn't know it was actually, which is crazy because most of my family's in the Midwest. I wasn't aware it was in Indiana. But no, yeah, I've once I took a visit, I was set, but my initial thought process is I would not go to Notre Dame.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, just like the idea. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like Duke basketball. Like if you're not a part of it, like if you don't have a reason to be a part of it, then you hate it because like you're not a part of it, you know. Yeah. But now I'm a part of it, so I like it.
So what made you flip that switch to go, I actually do want to be a part of it?
I mean, it's a lot different when you can actually go to Notre Dame, and then when you're just like talking about it, you know, like when Notre Dame's an option, it's a great opportunity. But like, I feel like most of the people who don't like Notre Dame, it's because like they never even had a chance to come here.
Mm-hmm. Who was one of the first coaches you connected with in the recruiting process? Was that Tommy at that point, or was that pre-date Tommy?
Denenbrock offered me. At Cincinnati, yeah.
That gives you some sense. You know what? That's the perfect place to end it right there because there's going to be so much on the field coming up this Saturday, man. Just enjoy it. There's always a bunch of nonsense and drama. At the end of the day, it's just two great football teams lining up and going at it. It's going to be awesome for the world to watch. Enjoy it. You already got that mindset as you always do. So really appreciate you taking some time, man.